Hello and welcome to my top 10 albums of 2020. I found a lot of great music this year, so this list actually got kind of hard to make. I'm not going to go too into depth with each album. I'm just going to give you some of my favorite songs, some of my overall thoughts, and yeah, so let's dive on in. Number 10 is How to Survive a Funeral by Make Them Suffer. It's definitely one of the heaviest albums on my list. I'm not fully into every song, which is why it's at number 10, but songs like Falling Ashes, Drown With Me, Erase Me, and especially Bones. I mean, there's more than enough good songs to make the list, but Bones is definitely the song that pulled me in, and it's honestly one of my favorite songs of the year, like songs of the year. So, I mean, that's one of the reasons why it ended up on the list, but you know, kind of not. I mean, it's at the end. With that being said, let's move on to number 9. Fit for a King claims the 9th spot with The Path. I personally like pretty much every song on this album, more than their other releases. I mean, I like Backbreaker off their last one, but the rest of it was a little too heavy for me. I've gotten more into it lately, but I still, at the moment, prefer this album. With songs like Vendetta, especially, The Path and Breaking the Mirror really standing out to me. I think it would have landed higher on the list if it wasn't for God of Fire. I cannot fucking stand that song. I find it really, really annoying, and I just do not like it. And it really kept it from landing any higher on the list. That being said, let's go to number 8. Coming in at number 8, we have 4 Years Strong in their latest outing, Brain Pain. I really love 4 Years Strong, and this album definitely didn't disappoint. Be Good When I'm Gone and is a little too slow for me, and I'm not really into Young at Heart, but I mean, everything else is amazing. And I mean, 17 is my favorite song off the album, and it's one of my top 5 songs of the year, probably. Get Out of My Head is phenomenal as well. Talking Myself in Circles and Learn to Love the Lie are definitely my favorite songs off of it, but I can listen to almost everything. Yeah, with that being said, let's go to 7. 7 is Everyone Loves You Once You Leave Them by The Amity Affliction. And I mean, The Amity Affliction is my favorite band of all time. So I was really excited for this album, especially after Soak Me in Bleach, Catatonia, and All My Friends Are Dead released. After a few listens, it's definitely not their best outing. I mean, the 3 songs I just mentioned are my top 3 songs of the year, so I mean, I had to make the list, but there's definitely a couple songs I'm not really into. Baltimore Rain, especially Baltimore Rain, I found the lyrics pretty cringy in that, to be honest. They just don't sit very well with me, I guess. But I mean, other than that, I guess they have a little bit of a identity crisis with this album. I think they were. At first, I thought it was a really good mix, but now after more listens, it definitely does. You can definitely tell that they didn't know whether to stick with their old sound or continue with their new sound that they developed with Misery. That's all I really got to say about it. I might do a full discography video of them, so I might go more in depth there. But let's keep this list rolling. Silverstein honestly kind of blew me away with this release. It was actually really hard to put it at number 6. A beautiful place to drown. They play with a lot of different sounds throughout the album. They kind of throw little things that little other sounds from other genres and put it into the genre that they are good at. I mean, they have a fucking saxophone solo in one of their songs, and it fits perfectly, and it works. And yeah, I mean, they have a lot of cool features in this album, and I mean, "Burn It Down" is definitely my favorite song, mostly just because I love the chemistry between Shane and Caleb's vocals. But if I hadn't found so much good music this year, it would have placed much higher. But unfortunately for them, some of the music I found this year kind of ended up edging it out. So let's get into some of that. Going into the top 5, we have Polaris, "The Death of Me." I found these guys shortly before they released this album, and I kind of fell in love. The first song I ever listened to was "Masochist," and it got me hooked. I mean, if they had released their other album this year as well, they'd have 2 albums on this list, because they are both phenomenal, and I found them both this year. But I'm not going to count it like that. There's honestly not a song on the album I don't like. With Vagabond, All of This Is Fleeting, Hypermania, and of course Masochist standing out heavily to me. I really like I said, I really love both of their albums, and I am really excited to see what they do next. Bring Me the Horizon had an amazing showing this year with a post-human survival horror. Bringing back a lot of the older elements, while nicely infusing their newer sound that they've kind of started to work on since emo. I mean, I wasn't really into emo, but I am really into this. So it's really hard to pick songs that stand out because they're all really, really well done. I mean, if I guess I had to choose a couple, I mean, Kingslayer, Teardrops, One by One, and Parasite Eve are probably my favorites. Remember, this is definitely my favorite release from them since Sempiternal, which, in my opinion, is still their best album. But that's just me, maybe. Kicking off the top 3 is an album I actually thought would be my number 1 pick this year when it first released. Bury Tomorrow's Cannibal is a fantastic album. I did a full review of it a few months back. If you want to know my full thoughts on it, I'll link it somewhere. I'll link it up here and down below. It was with songs like The Grey, Choke, Dark Infinite, The Agonist, Cold Sleep. It was really hard for me to not place this higher. But after listening to the top 2, I kinda had to. It's still one of my favorite albums of the year, and probably up there in my all-time favorites. But so are the other 2. So let's get into those. Current's album, The Way It Ends, really blew me away. It's the first album I had listened to from them, and it is amazing. The instrumentals are fantastic. The lyrics hit deep. Songs like A Flag to Wave, Kill the Ache, Split, Second Skin, Origin, all really stand out to me. With Better Days has honestly become one of my favorite songs of all time. It is such a good song. And I honestly thought that it was going to be number one, just like with Cannibal. But then right before I started to nail down this list, I realized something. I had missed a couple songs that a band had released they had released a deluxe in the same year they released their regular album, and I couldn't resist because I love it. So let's find out what that is. Kidding. Before we go into the top spot, let's go over a couple honorable mentions. Monomania by the Word Alive was a solid release. Burning Your World Down and Monomania and Thank You standing out to me. And it actually got edged out in the last month of me kind of nailing down this list. So yeah, I'm actually wearing Word Alive merch right now. So Kingdom of Giants, Passenger. I found this album while I was writing this script, and I didn't really have time to give it solid attention and reevaluate the list. I think it could have placed pretty high. It is a pretty good album, but like I said, I didn't really get a chance to give it solid attention and then reevaluate where I would place it on the list. So it gets an honorable mention. August Burns Red, Guardians is the same. It's the same kind of thing. I didn't even realize that they had released an album, and then I ended up listening to it last week, and while it is fucking fantastic, I really wish I would have noticed it earlier, because it would have placed on the list for sure. But now, the moment all three people watching have been waiting for, my album of the year is Dragged Under, The World Is In Your Way. Dragged Under comes out of nowhere and steals the top spot. I talked about this album earlier in the year when it first released, and I loved it then, and it's grown on me even more since then. I really love the high energy fun that it produces with Chelsea, Roots, Here for War, Hypochondriac. The whole album is just amazing. But that's not why it ended up getting the top spot. It got the top spot because of the deluxe edition they also released this year. It had Just Like Me, which is amazing, and Feel It, which is also amazing. But they also released my new favorite Christmas song with this holiday. This for a first outing, this is amazing. I know that Tony, the vocalist, is friends with Jared Dines. So he's had a lot of, and they've been in bands together, and they've done a lot of stuff. And they've done a lot of stuff. He's done a lot of stuff musically, and the group he's gotten together with is just great. It is a lot of fun, and I definitely recommend checking out this album. There it is. There's my 10 favorite albums of the year. And these are just my opinions. I would like to know your guys's, all three of you watching. Let me know what your favorite albums of the year were, either in the comments or on Twitter at ahump101. Just before we go, I have a couple channel updates, I guess. I have a few more commentary-based, bigger projects kind of in the works at the moment. One on J Station being back, my thoughts on family vlogs, and I'll leave the other one a surprise. But I have a couple bigger more commentary based videos coming. So yeah, if you're interested in that, or listening to me ramble on about music I listen to occasionally, hit subscribe. If you like this video, hit that like button, or dislike it if you didn't. That's fine too. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.